Now we're actually in one of the beautiful gardens in the centre of Adair, and of all of the years that I'm driving through Adair and doing business in Adair, I was never here at the Trinitarian Abbey. I never knew what a dovecot was. I never knew the history of Adair, which is so intricate with, as Billy Maguire has said, the Skelligs and Loch Gore and hospital and the sovereignty.
The sovereignty comes from God.
Yes.
There's your two hands, look.
Yes.
And look, you're born in the image of God. That's what it's all about. And can you see, look, the harp. That's our seed.
Yes.
And that should be respected. I mean, to think that Guinness has used that as a measure on a pint of Guinness, I think is scandalous. That's a desecration of our sovereignty.
Right, I know exactly now what you mean. But
and they shouldn't be allowed to get away with it.
But look at the absolute scenery here. Now this is under, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Limerick City and County Council. Yeah. And there's an awful lot of credit done to the council for the maintenance and the great work that they do.
Isn't it beautifully kept?
It's beautifully kept.
Today,
absolutely.
Isn't it a credit? And to see the way they were teaching those children how to garden and how to look after nature.
Yes. It's so important. Well, I've planted a load of lupins in the garden over the last year, and I can assure you and I see them now there. So now I know what to expect. Absolute a mass of colour. Fantastic to see. And you know, this is absolutely beautiful here. Isn't Billy. We'll just
we can go down then to where they used to wash the clothes and that.
Okay, we'll walk down. We'll take, as the man says, we'll take a walking tour. But isn't it lovely just to see people out and about?
And
you know,
it's a lovely day. And
yes.
You know, it's midsummer, and
yes,
you did midsummer, and this is all part of how we enjoy ourselves.
Yes,
how we look
but it's wonderful to see people that are out and about. You know, and it's so important. Oh, right.
Nice to see you. My friend. Nice to see you.
Like, how are you? You're grand. How are you?
We're admiring your Adair.
Oh.
It's tough going. Who did this? Was this Lady Dunraven?
It was designated artist given by Lady Nancy Dunraven. That would be Teddy's mother. And for the people of the area and surrounding
area. We did the dovecot. What we're doing is the sovereignty and the Skelligs and Askeaton. You know, the friars, Christopher Columbus came for Askeaton. Yes. And the you know about the Knights Templars and all that. Yes. And Loch Gore, all the information came from Loch Gore. You know, and
the dovecot that was restored. Martin Enright was the mason.
There's somebody
Martin Enright.
Martin Enright, yeah, and
Lord Hogan was the ones responsible for it.
Oh, I can tell you, you have to be very, very proud here. It's absolutely beautiful.
And Lord Hogan was the area engineer, and they started one of the first FOSS schemes, and all the people he trained to finish up in stonework, you know.
My gosh, incredible! But the FOSS schemes. Michael, they did such fantastic work across the country.
Fantastic work.
It was the best scheme ever.
Funding.
And you know what they've done? Arda. They've restored Arda, and they've restored William Smith O'Brien's his mausoleum.
That's beautiful.
And the Arda chalice where it came out of. You know, I wanted to put the Sam Maguire's the replica.
Oh yes, that'd be nice. Yeah, yes.
And it would be lovely for people. Imagine people going back to Kerry.
One of the best breaks we got was back in Albert Reynolds' time, when Desmond Castle was included for remedial work under the OPW.
But Albert Reynolds did an awful lot of good work, didn't he?
He did. Now, in fairness, now, you know, and we said then it was included in the 2003 National Development Plan for Tourism, and that's how they got that was part of the Heritage Towns of Ireland. There was one of the 25.
But Michael, when we think of the importance now with COVID restrictions and air travel, aren't we blessed that we have such a wonderful country that people can go anywhere now and appreciate it?
Yes, and in fairness to the landowners, they're cooperating with the...
They're great people,
with the problems you spoke about before. The riverbank now is another little project, and that was done back in about 1995, and Teddy Dunraven get permission for the council to take over, along with that, maintain it and insure it and all that. But it's done for very small money, I'd say. From start to finish, I'd say 50,000 would have completed it at that stage. Like, you get nothing done for it now.
No, sure, 50,000.
John and I, we did the summer solstice. Last Monday week.
21st of June.
Oh yes. And we did that, and I have a flowery meadow in Kappa.
Good for you.
You would have remembered, like me as a child, all the flowery meadows.
Yes,
the
yes.
silence in that
Yes,
song,
yes,
gone.
yes.
And the beautiful garden that those children have kept there. Isn't
Yes.
it lovely?
Yes.
It's lovely teaching
And
those children.
the teachers, and Joe Dwyer, then would be a local man, he's living in one of the houses there. He does maintenance work there, and he trains them and the vegetables and
But you
the
see, that's
sunflowers
so
and all
important.
that. You can't buy that. Like,
You can't, no.
And you have to learn it when you're young.
Yes,
And it'll always be with you.
and your kids will appreciate it then.
Well, as I said to Billy, Michael, the planet is in great hands with the younger generation now, because they're so switched on. Yes.
Yes, and Knockfearna is another one.
Knockfearna, yes. Pat Donovan, correct.
The landowner.
But you should see Askeaton. They've done the Garden of Remembrance there.
Yes.
They've 2 proclamations.
Yes.
And we did the reading of the proclamation.
We did,
for
yes.
Easter Monday.
Very nice.
And West Limerick told me that they brought it out too, and they got 19,000 hits worldwide on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many people do you get on your?
Oh, well, since we started now doing the Billy Maguire and all of that, there's nearly 50,000
Yes.
at home and abroad.
It is, and even on a national level, we'll say,
Yes,
going back to the formation of the state and
correct.
the Civil War and the War of Independence.
Mhm.
There was a lot of the history kind of lost too, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's only on the eyes of the beholder, as the person
And look
says.
at Monsignor Hugh O'Flaherty. He
Yes.
was running the Vatican.
Yes.
He and in the Second World War in the 40s. And T.J. Kiernan,
Yes.
he was married to Delia Murphy.
Yes.
They saved thousands of those prisoners of war, thousands of them.
Yes.
And that's where the peace, reconciliation and prosperity came from. And Pope Pius XII in 1950 and all that. And it was the IRB, he was an IRB man.
Yeah.
And Pope Pius XII, he brought my father out to Rome, and with all those IRB people, and he didn't want any violence against Britain. He wanted a true university.
Yes.
And my father gave Willowbank. That's how the university started. And Chuck
good.
Feeney put up the money for it. Which
that's
they got it, the whole thing.
Yes.
I'll give you that if you
There
want
was
to
a
leave.
curate in the there one time, and he finished up Bishop of Limerick. And
But it's very important, all these links, you know.
yes.
And especially, because our sovereignty comes from God, if you read the proclamation.
Yeah.
Whereas corporations, that's what Henry VIII, he turned monarchy into a corporation too. And that's how they went and they exploited the whole world.
Yes.
You know, sovereignty, you go into another country, you respect the sovereignty of that country and the people and their assets.
Yes.
Britain didn't do that.
Yes.
They were
Bishop Dwyer was the man. He was a curate, and he was one of the only ones that was given help to the time the War of Independence. Wasn't he? To sign
Yeah,
the
I
English.
remember. I know the letter in that,
Yeah.
you know, because we bought phones for Telford
That's right, yes.
in
We were telling
29
about-
Parnell Square and put up £1 million for that. For that.
Yes.
That's the conflict. People don't understand the conflict between the sovereign Republican of Éire and Britain is the 1918 32 county election called by Britain on the 14th of December 1918. On the 28th of December 1918, IRB Sinn Féin, not only did they be calling themselves, they're only provisional. IRB Sinn Féin won 73 seats out of the 105. The Unionists won 25 seats. And there was a few independents. It was not independent. But and then on the 21st of January 1919 in the Mansion House in Dublin, that was all ratified by the sovereign All-Ireland government. And that's the mandate that I still have today. And that's what we do, turning the seal.
Yes.
But the Unionist people claim that they're entitled to the 6 counties on that 25 seats they won in that election. How can that be a democratic election? So that every democratic election in the world is wrong.
Yeah.
And I always say to the Unionist people, you know, in the Curragh mutiny, they mutinied. These royalist people that were royal to the Crown of England. They mutinied, and they were allowing Germany to overrun Britain in the First World War. I mean, how can these things? But people don't know the facts. They don't know. And
any changes that became a necessity for one reason or
Yes,
another.
yes.
England
but
wanted this.
peace, and they scrapped the peace, reconciliation, and prosperous that we gave Willowbank for, and changed it with the Good Friday Agreement, which is a very welcome first step.
They all have to live together and work together.
That's the essence of it. We all
If you
really
did a DNA
do.
between us and the unions and and
There's no difference in. We're all human.
And we all the
I'm
same.
trying to make a living. But Michael, you're how are you enjoying retirement now?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
You're looking well in it.
yeah.
You are,
Yeah.
thank God.
I was in the tidy town for years, but
Yes.
I gave it up there.
But you kept
3
it.
years ago.
You must be.
We had a
delighted
great
with
run
this
at
place,
it, like,
this
you
is
know.
But
this
this is
all happened in your watch.
your watch.
Didn't it
Yeah.
now?
But it's great now.
And you kept it going, and you
kept
wouldn't-
it, yeah. And that's great parish works now being done in the likes of a T, and all those,
Yes.
and Al Patrick and Gal.
Arders,
They're all doing
you see,
great,
Arders,
fabulous.
they've done up the-
Arders,
They
beautiful.
have a cycle and a walking place.
Greenway
there.
now in the
It's
hall.
fabulous.
So
You
important.
were up in William Smith O'Brien's
I
house, you
was,
couldn't believe
yes
it.
indeed. I couldn't believe it. Absolutely fantastic. I was recently there at the start of the Greenway in Newcastle West
Yes.
as well. Marvellous people, like, and
great
they're all
people,
great.
Well, John puts this up on the website.
Well, this goes worldwide, Michael, as
What's your
well.
website, John?
What Matters programme with John Prendergast.
Oh, lovely.
You know.
Oh, yeah, John.
And
You
if
have
you
a
go
great
to
program.
the
Yeah,
Ah, yeah,
I
well,
know
thank
the
you.
voice more than.
He puts it up on that as well.
Yes.
BillyMcGuire.com.
Good.
And all those things.
Michael, good to meet you,
And lovely
I wish you
talking
the
to
best
John,
of luck.
And you too.
Billy, wish you the best of luck for
And
the
you
future.
too.
Okay.
Nice talking to
Gorda
you.
Mila
God
Marcus.
bless.
Thank you.